Hi, everyone. From me, Brent Graham. Good to be with you on this Thursday night, 9 o'clock, time for the Handicap Rugby Chat That Matters. We are, of course, going to be talking about the 4 rugby games taking place this weekend. Plenty of betting opportunities, I can assure you. And I'll have to see if I can make my money back from someone who I lost money to last week and actually forgot all about it, I must be honest, until I was getting ready to invite him to the show. And I suddenly realized I haven't paid that man his $500. So let me get straight into it and welcome Oracle Rugby. He's sitting down below me there. Oracle, good to see you, man.
Thanks very much, Brent. I didn't forget.
I didn't think you would. The question, I guess, on my lips and everyone else's lips is, do I get to do what Couch Critic did last week and have a bit of a go at a double or quits? It didn't work for him.
Yes, you can. No problem.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure we'll find something during the show. Just to apologize, I have no idea. This happens once or twice a year. My computer decides to make me look a bit like Donald Trump. I'm absolutely orange at the moment. As I think Gavin said earlier, it looks like I got out of sunbed. And a couple of guys who look very relaxed because they're both back in Barcelona. Let's welcome son of a punt, Andrew and Jordan. How's it, guys?
Evening, Brent. Evening, guys. Good to be back in both Barcelona and on the show.
Yeah, glad
I'm sure it is. And I mean, Barcelona, are pubs in that open now?
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty normal. However, in the last few days, there's actually been a spike in cases. So they've closed clubs and they've made wearing masks compulsory. I suppose it just makes it feels pretty compared to when I was in Cape Town. So, but otherwise, beaches are open and it was packed today. So yeah, it's good to be back.
Excellent. Let's go down. Oh, man also took a week off. I think he did a bit of fishing last week. Didn't get too involved in the betting, which may be a good thing. And it's welcome back to Hendrik Swart. Hendrik, good to have you back on the show.
Hi, Brent. Yeah, I haven't been on the past 2 weeks, so great to be back again. I'm actually, like I said just before the show, it was a good thing I didn't have a bet on Saturday or Sunday because looking at the results, I definitely would have lost money. Yeah, on Friday, I got involved in the Aussie game and made a bit there. Funnily enough, the Aussie tournament has been more profitable for me. So yeah, we'll see what we have to say tonight.
Excellent. Well, I can see I'm going to get lots of abuse for my orange colour. I've already got Brendan Vessel saying make sports betting great again, and Chris Rowe coming in and saying hi guys and Trump. So thanks very much, guys. Welcome to all the boys who are watching the live chat. Whether you be watching now on Twitter because we're streaming live to Twitter, also, of course, to YouTube. But, guys, let's get straight into the action. We've got 4 games to look forward to this weekend. Starting tomorrow with the Waratahs Rebels. And this is an interesting one. You guys will remember last week I capped the Waratahs game at plus, minus 3.5 Waratahs, and the handicap came out 8.5. And in the end, the Waratahs only just got beaten by the Brumbies. Now, this week as well, most of the guys, including the bookies, coming out with the Rebels as slight favourites. I said minus 6.5 Waratahs. Now, once again, that's proven to be out. But interesting, the market is moving in my direction because I've just had a quick look and I see the Waratahs are generally now favourites across the board at 8 to 10. Let me start with you on this game, Hendrik. What was your initial impression and are you surprised with the way the market has moved?
Brent, like I said, I didn't see last week's game. It looks like the Waratahs, they were much better against the Brumbies. Everyone expected the Brumbies to put them away easily. And yeah, the Brumbies actually struggled to win the game. So I should actually hear from you guys that saw the game, but it looks like there's some improvement in the Waratahs. I expected the Rebels to do much better as well than they have done so far. So this is a difficult one for me, and the betting suggests that it's a difficult game. But at least, yeah, the market has shifted in your direction. I'm leaning to the Waratahs as well here because it's in Sydney and because the Rebels, they've been disappointing. I'm not going to put my own money on either of the 2 teams to win the game. I'll focus on the points. Points has come out at 51.5, I see. I'll take a bit of the unders there and then see what happens in play. A lot of the games, there's been points in the first half and then at half time you can go unders. And a lot of the games, there's been the game of 2 halves, especially in the Aussie games. So yeah, I'm going to take unders before the game, and then if there's points in the first half again, I'll take unders at halftime again. So my focus here will be on points, but I'm leaning towards the Waratahs like you do.
Right, let's go to the son of the punt, boys. I know early doors you guys were looking at the Rebels. Have you got involved yet?
Brent, just quickly on last week, geez, when you came out with that magical Waratahs -3, Brumbies -3, we were all over it, and then it came out of -8, and we were still all over it, only to get bitten in the bum. So yeah, good call on that one. That Brumbies were shocking, but Henrik, Waratahs were brilliant, especially in the pack. It's not often you see an Australian front row of Slipper or CO, and then Fainga and Alan Alatoa being dominated. They barely won a line-out, they barely won a scrum. It was tough to watch. It wasn't the Brumbies that you really expect, the solid scrum, the good rolling thunder. So yeah, I mean, it makes it tough to back them this week, but we'll get there later. But yeah, as Henrik said, it's a tough game to call, even money either way. Obviously, it's in Sydney, but I mean, we have seen a stat that Rebels are significantly better in second halves than they are in first halves. So it might be something to look into in play, specifically if the Tars have a good first half. So I mean, that could be an angle for us.
Yeah, and also we're on a very similar wavelength to Henrik. I think we're going to take the under 25.5 points in the first half. So we're going to just wait for the team to trade sticks a bit, and that gives you 3 penalties to play with and 2 converted tries. So we're going to take under 25.5 for the first half. We haven't put our money there yet, but we're still looking to strike on that. And then, as Henrik said, wait in play and maybe try to get on a bigger plus for one of the teams. Because I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a match that's decided between 1 and 10 points. So I think taking unders pre-game and then looking for the in-play plus is the correct play here.
Excellent. Just to mention on the outright betting, I had a quick look around. The Waratahs, who were obviously slight underdogs at the start of the week, the biggest price now is actually 17 to 20 is the biggest I've seen. I've just written the preview for good for the game. But let's go down and see what Oracle Rugby thinks of this one. Oracle, it's a virtual choice game with the books. Which way are you leaning?
There's only one team to go here, Brent, and it's the Waratahs. I thought I got them wrong that 2 weeks ago. Excuse me, against the Force. Last week I was shown the right way to go. I went that way. I know that some of the punt were talking about the 3.5. I told you to go for it. You priced it up like that. I think you've done the right here. I also would have made the Waratahs minus. I wouldn't have gone as high as -6, but possibly -4 or -5. I think the value lies with them, even at 8 to 10. Excuse me. These games where there's a -1 or -2, I don't like those. I'd rather take the 8 to 10 or the 8.5 to 10 on the board. I do think the Waratahs will win this game. I don't know about how much. I was impressed with their scrum as well. The Brumbies were, I don't know if the Brumbies were absolute rubbish in their scrum. I think the Waratahs scrum was a lot better. Going on to the points, I suggested the other day that going under was a great idea in that one game. And in fact, I even suggested 46. But, one thing I've noticed with this, specifically the Australian conference, is there doesn't seem to be a lot of penalties. Everybody's scoring tries. And as much as unders has always worked, it's worked predominantly over the years. Excuse me. I would be scared in this particular tournament. I just see tries. I see minimum team scoring, like I said last week, 12 points. And you're getting 20s and easily. I mean, 50 doesn't look that far away anymore. I'm not going to have a bet on the points, but geez, I'd be scared to go under in this particular game. My call is just Waratahs to win.
Right, that's what I've gone as well. If you read the good for the game preview, I've gone Waratahs to win at 17 to 20. We will be having a short little intervention from Couch Critic later in the show. I can't recall if he had anything on this game, but he's got a couple of sort of try scorers bets for us. But anything else on this game, guys, before we move on to the New Zealand conference on Saturday morning?
Yeah, just one thing. Sorry, Andre. Sorry, go for it.
You can go. No, you go first.
Oh, okay, sorry. Thanks, Henrik. Just Oracle, just about the penalties and whatnot. Both these two teams are the only two teams, besides for the Force, that actually like lining up a shot at goal. Both teams have huge propensity to take sticks, and I also think at the end of the day in this tournament, these Waratahs Rebels, Reds Rebels, Reds Waratahs games are kind of they're almost knockout games in themselves, because it's all about making, I suppose, the top 3 in the end, because you want to go there and get into the final. But I do think this is one game where we will see penalty goals kicked.
Right, Henrik, you were going to come in with something there?
Just remembered, I see Brendan Wessels is on the chat as well, and in our group chat, WhatsApp group, earlier today, he mentioned that if you fancy a tight game here, the option with Sunbet, that try bet that you get either team by 1 to 7, I think it's 13 to 10 at Sunbet. It's an option as well if you fancy the close game, just for the punters, for the info. Brendan mentioned that.
It's quite. I know it's a bet that Chris Sturdy, when he does his rugby previews, he often leans on when he can't pick a side. It is quite nice because, often a team, they trail by 10, they'll still go for the penalty to get that bonus point as well. But interesting one, I'd say the majority of the panel leaning Waratahs here. That's certainly the way I'm going. Will it be good enough to get onto the Good for the Game newsletter tomorrow morning? Well, we'll have to see how the show goes. But if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe and go down below and subscribe to our free newsletter, which comes out on a Friday. Let's move on to Saturday morning, though, guys. It's the Crusaders up against the Hurricanes. I'm having a look here on the Sunbet site at the moment. Minus 11.5 point Crusaders. I just want to quickly pop across and see what I handicapped this game. But I think I was in that sort of region, the 10.5, 11.5 region. And we'll start now with the boys from Barcelona. What do you guys make of this one?
Brent, so this was obviously quite a tough one to call because you want to back the plus and follow Thoughts on Sports' rule. If you can get a double-digit plus with the New Zealand derby, you take the plus. But you see the Crusaders, they keep getting those last-minute tries. They've scored 14 points in the last 5 to 10 minutes, and the plus is dead. But it's still the way I'm leaning here, or the way we think we're leaning, because Hurricanes have just shown great fight for the last 2 to 3 weeks, actually. They're actually really starting to find their feet. So I think that could potentially, the plus is a good player here. And Jordan can hand over for the other player.
Yeah, also just I think as much as I'd like to be on the plus, I'd like even more is to take like a plus 14, like a 2-score plus. So if you can wait patiently in play and get a 2-score plus in play, then I think honestly that's golden, because that just avoids that Will Jordan last 15 minutes type scenario. But then also, we saw points were at 49.5, and I mean generally Christchurch is low scoring, but I mean the conditions are pretty good, and James Dolman is the ref, and I mean we've got him as 1 overs 1 under, so it's quite tough to judge. But I think he's a young ref, he's a new ref. He might be wanting to try and ref a spectacle here, and also I can see both teams just trying to play some good rugby. Both these teams have good intent. they like kicking for the corner. Although Henrik would say that you don't get points from kicking from the corner, it's good for the unders play. But I do like over 49.5 in this game, and can see some points.
Especially if Lal Mapek can run around like he did last week, because he had an absolute cracker of the game.
He was absolutely amazing. I mean, he's a real steam train when he gets going. I wouldn't like to get in the way of him. Oracle, let's go down to you and get your opinion on this New Zealand derby. You're going to be winning this, or you're going to be watching it, should I say, or you're going to be preparing for the Durban July later in the day?
Yeah, I'm going to be watching the Durban July. Absolutely. I just hear some of the punt here going, the plus is the right way to go. I tell you, and Thoughts on Sports as well. I was always like that, and geez, these Crusaders they've turned me around. Excuse me. I look at minus 10 and minus 11, minus 12, and I think to myself, it's just not enough. Everything tells me to go the plus here, but this Crusaders team is it's on another level. It really is. And the only thing I can say here, I haven't made a decision on having a bet on this game, but my decision is minus or no bet. There's just no ways I'm touching that plus. I would be absolutely too scared. Even at $500, I'd be too scared. It's minus or no bet for me.
Well, I see Chris in the live chat. He's saying he won't be touching the handicap, and overs looks the way to go. He's also leaning with the son of a punt boys on the overs. So let's see Henrik come in and let us know which he's going. I'm sure, Henrik, you've got an opinion on the points here as well. I
do have an opinion on the points, Brent. But let's first touch on the handicap. This is a tough one for me. I hate the Hurricanes. They've cost me a lot of money this year because I keep opposing them. They've been playing better than expected. But in this game, this handicap is bigger than expected. The Crusaders, they've got few injuries, and they've got crucial injuries. They've got a new 13. That's your most important player on the defense. So yeah, I'll lead into that with the points as well. But yeah, especially Avili, that's big loss. Will Jordan, he's been brilliant on attack, but for me, he's susceptible on defense, and especially his positional play is not that great, in my opinion. So I think there's definitely vulnerabilities in this Crusaders team, and the double-digit handicap, I'm on a plus here, even with the game being in Christchurch. Not a confident bet, but I'll definitely take the plus. And like Jordan said, if I can get a 14.5 or more, if the Crusaders score early, I'll jump on the Hurricanes again, because it's always nice to have that to converted try handicap if you're on the plus. The points, yeah, I hate going overs, but this game looks like overs to me as well. Even though Christchurch has been unders, both the games being played, it was 31 and 41 points. Yeah, this game just seems like an overs game to me. So yeah, I'll be but yeah, like when I go overs, it's never a big bet because I don't like going overs. So I'll have a bit of the over 49.5, and if there's a slow start, I'll go over it. But I'll have a look at the game of 2/2 again. Yeah, if there's a lot of points, I'll go unders at half time. If there's not as much points as I expected, I'll go overs at half time. So yeah, my call here is the plus on the Hurricanes, going against the Oracle. But I hear him on the Crusaders. And the Crusaders, they are a difficult, dangerous team to oppose. But I just feel this handicap with the Hurricanes, they've been playing well, and it just seems a bit high, especially with the Crusaders' injuries at the moment.
Just want to quickly touch on one thing with you, Henrik, before we move on to the next game. This game of 2 halves that you talk about. I haven't got the stats, but I reckon virtually without fail, we've had one high-scoring half and one low-scoring half in a lot of these games. And particularly the halves that have thrown in 32 points, up front, invariably have gone unders the next game. I reckon you'd have made a lot of money if you had the patience to wait till half-time.
Yeah, Brent. There's a few games last weekend, apparently, that didn't go that way. 2 games that I thought you would have gone, but it happens a lot of time. If you wait for in play and you have no bet and you just wait till half time and you go, if there's not a lot of points in the first half, you go overs at half time, or the other way around, especially the other way around. A lot of the games, there's a lot of points in the first half, and then you can take the unders. Even though it goes against your grain and everything, you just see tries in the first half. It's very difficult to go unders, but go unders, you will make money in the long run. And it's not just with this competition. It's been a few years that I've picked it up. Well, I have a WhatsApp chat with a few friends, and we all punt. I got them all into punting over the years, and we've been speaking about this for about 2 years now. A game of 2 halves. My one friend, he coined it, the game of 2 halves, and yeah, it happens a lot in the South African games even as well. So yeah, it's like you label the refs as overs or unders. The game of 2 halves is another thing, and I'm not sure the bookies has picked up on it yet.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure you're very popular with your friends. Wow, I've seen that you've converted them all to punting over the years there, Henrik. Well done on that one. Chris, I think echoing what a lot of us are saying on this game as well, a lot of us fear when you're going against the Crusaders. I always say it's a bit like going against the All Blacks on the handicap. You can be looking excellent with 15 minutes to go, and then they can suddenly cut loose. I mean, we think Crusaders, Highlanders a while ago, I think the handicap was 9, 10.5, and the Highlanders looked like winning the game at one point, and the Crusaders won by 20. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. That, guys, son of a punt, anything more on this game before we move on? Gav?
No, Brent.
Yeah, I was just going to say, a lot of people ask me how to bet and what must I do and whatever. And my standard answer for 20 years is your wallet's going to teach you. And let me tell you, my wallet has been taught by the Crusaders. It's just so taught that I just can't learn anymore. Really, I'm scared. I'm scared than anyone else on there.
The Hurricanes have taught me this year.
Sorry, guys, I'm just laughing. I still can't get used to this bloody orange looker that I've got tonight. I've got no idea. I think it's actually I don't know how it works exactly, but I actually think it's got something to do with my connection, because I'm really battling again still with my connection a little bit. I can hear you guys fine, but there's a slight delay, and I know it's on my side at the moment. But let's move on to the next game then. It's Saturday at 11:15. We've got the Western Force against the Brumbies. I capped this one 12.5. I see the handicap generally around 14.5 points now. And Oracle, let's kick off with you on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to call a Force plus again. I'm not confident, but the Brumbies gave me nothing last week, and the Force have been okay. They've scored tries in both of their games. They've started very well. I don't know. They don't look that bad. They don't look like the team that we all expected would show up in this tournament. They're okay. The Brumbies have not been as flash as everybody thought they would be. So for me, it's a very small punt on the plus here. Very small. Not a lot of confidence.
Okay, let's go to the son of the punt boys and see what they like in this one.
Pretty similar to Oracle, actually. Like I've always had a soft spot for the Brumbies, and I do like backing them, but she said made it extremely hard, particularly last week. It's just tough, when they let you down like that. And also the weather's not great. It's looking like it's going to be a rainy and also quite humid evening in Sydney. I think the game's being played in Sydney. Correct me if I'm wrong. And also Damon Murphy is the ref, and he's generally an unders ref. So maybe instead of taking, although I personally think the plus 15 should probably be taken, but I really don't like betting against the Brumbies. I'd probably prefer to take an unders points for the match. But geez, the Brumbies, you give them any conditions and the rolling maul just comes out. So I don't know. It's tough for me here.
Yeah, I'm also, it's really hard to call this game. Yeah, go for Brent.
No, I was going to just agree with Jordan. And the thing is with the Brumbies, they really haven't shown their best over their first couple of matches. But you get that horrible feeling that when you do now oppose them, they're suddenly going to rock up and old Couch's man's going to score 4 tries from the base of the maul.
No, for sure. It was the last week's game was the most frustrating game I've ever watched as the Brumbies back. And every time they got a line up, they just overthrew it. It was horrific to watch. Scrum penalties were always going against them. I do think they're going to come out firing now in the first half against the Force. So potentially something I was looking at was the Brumbies minus, but I saw it was quite hard, -7.5. I saw 3P was actually on the Western Force plus. But quite a good bet that you actually took in one of the other games was Force under points, which is potentially something could be a good play here. If the weather's bad, paid dividends for you last time, and I think it could be quite a good play here as well if you go Force under points.
Especially the fact they're missing Ian Pryor as well, who's their grey number 9. So he's just one of 15 grey members in their team, but not grey college, grey hair. But he's going to be sorely missed because he.
Okay, I see.
Chips and a Coke, you can buy chips and a Coke, but you can't buy experience, and he's got experience that they desperately need.
Right, let's go. Have I covered everyone in this game? Henrik, I don't think I've got your opinion on this one, have I?
Brenton, looks like I'm the only one that's confident in this one. I like the Force strong here. I even give the Force a good chance to win this game. So the 14.5 is a great bet for me. The Brumbies, they're great in Canberra, but I don't trust them away from Canberra, and it has shown last week and the week before that as well. So yeah, I like the plus, and I like the Brumbies by 1 to 12 here as well, because I think even though I give the Force a chance to win the game, I think the Brumbies probably will do enough to win, and I think the Force will make them sweat here. The Force loose trio has been great, especially Reinhard Stander and Stowers, and I expect them to dominate the breakdown again. I think I hear you guys about Pryor, but I think Nick Crispy is coming in, and he's got experience as well. He played for the Reds. So yeah, they obviously, it's a thing with the Force. They try to get in as much experience as possible, and I've been impressed with the Force the first few games. So yeah, I like the plus strong here, and then. Yeah, like the son of a punt guys said, there will be rain, and the game is in Sydney. So I will be looking at unders on Brumbies points here. Anything in the 30s, I will have a solid bet on unders on Brumbies points here.
Yeah, I've got a feeling you're going to go quite around 34.5 33.5, 34.5 there, Henrik. So you'll be going unders, eh?
That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I must say, this game, I've also been battling. Initially, I was leaning, I priced 12.5, and I was leaning towards the Brumbies. But I'm starting to see this as a potential no bet. Just talking of that forced points, I went low at forced. I went under forced points at 19.5. I think it was against the Waratahs. And they scored like 14 points, I think, in the first 21 minutes. And I thought I was absolutely dead. And then the points just dried up. And if I look at the way the Force have gone, they've tended to start fast and then points dry up. So even could be some in-running options there on the Force points. Gents, I think we got just one more game to speak about if there's nothing more to add on those. And that's going to be early Sunday morning. That's the Blues against the Chiefs. I priced this one at, I think, around this. Let me just have a quick look on the good. I priced this at 8.5, and it is leaning in that direction now. But there was 6.5 early in the week, and generally speaking, the money's come for the Blues. Henrik, I don't think I've given you a chance to speak first yet, so give us your view on this one.
Brent, how disappointing has the Chiefs been? I expected the Chiefs to challenge for the title this year in this competition, but they've been horrible and they've cost me a lot of money. And the Blues, being back in Auckland, I expect the Blues to come out firing here, and they have to try and challenge for the title still. So I haven't had a bet yet, so I missed. Like you said, it was 6.5 earlier in the week, just under the converted try, so I missed out on that. But I'll still take the 7.5 or the 8.5 at the moment. And I like the Blues to have a good game in Auckland and put the Chiefs away here. Now points wise, I see Pickerel is the ref here, so yeah, I'll have a look at some sort of unders play here, and obviously again. The punters should remember about that game of 2 halves. If you go unders and there's points in the first half, just go unders again half time.
Yeah, press your bet and you'll no doubt make your money back unless you bet bigger, in which case you can still show a profit. I must say I am on the Blues here. I haven't got my money on yet, but I like them a lot. I certainly like the 6.5, but I'll certainly get involved still at 7.5 levels. The Chiefs absolutely shocking last week, and this leads me into Oracle, because Oracle last week, our 500 Rand bet involved the Chiefs against, it was the Chiefs Highlanders, eh? And I needed the Chiefs by, I think, 6 points or more, or 7 or more. I mean, they led 31-7, I think it was, or 31-12. I mean, and somehow either the Highlanders came back to actually win the match. They were terrible. That cost me the 500. You must have been impressed by the Highlanders. The question for me now is, are you Blues or Chiefs this week?
No, I've been Blues every week, actually, but I haven't won on them. I think I've won on the one game out of the 3. They lost the game against the Crusaders. They lost, last week as well. I like the Blues here, but again, it's one of those, I won't be taking plus, so it's either no bet or it's a minus. I haven't made a decision at this point. I am quite excited that it's not massive like 11 or 12, and that it is sort of at the 7 or 8 level. It does feel right. They've impressed me, but they haven't played 80 minutes. I don't know. I'm going to have to wait a little bit on this. The Crusaders minus and the Blues minus are probably the way I'm going, or it's going to be no bet. I'm not very confident, but the Blues does feel right. I probably have a little bit more confidence on the Blues than I am on the Crusaders, but I'm definitely not going plus.
Right. Yeah. Quite a tough one. This just from a points perspective, Gavin, I imagine we're going to get a line about 49.5 points. Where would you be going there?
Yeah, it's also weather. I haven't looked at weather here, and I'm not a big points punter, but he's at 50. Yeah, the Chiefs is what worries me here. Is I don't think they're going to score a lot, and for the Blues to get sort of 30 or 35 to. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. The unders is probably the right way to go. I'm always scared to go overs, and especially in New Zealand games. I honestly don't have that many points bets, Brent. I'm very small on that.
Excellent. Well, before I bring son of a punt in on this one, just to mention, we've got a Durban July preview that we recorded the other night, which is really, really good. If you are looking to bet on the July, we've got Jason Dedekind and Alan Moskrop, a.k.a. Southpaw, on that. And we'll be doing a live show on Friday night. Haven't firmed the time up yet, but looks like it'll be about 8 o'clock, going through the pick 6 legs there at Greyville for the Durban July. So I'm going to come up with someone. I've got a couple of interesting guests coming on the show. Jason and Alan might be back as well. And so join us tomorrow night. Keep an eye on the Good for the Game forum and on my Twitter to see what time that show is. But let's get to the son of a punt, guys, and find out where they're going in the final game.
Yeah, Brent, this one again, it's another tough one to call. It almost screams one of those games that's going to be chasing bets to end off your weekend and you're going to lose your money. So it's almost a game that I want to stay away with. But as Henrik said, pick rules the ref. And always when it's a -6 or -7, I find that the unders points comes home more 9 times out of 10 or whatever, comes up a lot because it's always going to be a closely contested affair trading points. So I'd like to take an unders here as well, but I'd like to see what the line is. 49 is a bit low. Hopefully it comes out around 52, 51 to give you those extra points, a bit of leeway. But otherwise, just wake up early, I guess. And if you can get a +13 or a +12 in the Chiefs in play, I think the Blues just want to win this game. I don't think they're going to be looking for a bonus point. They want to just win the game, take the points, and move on. So I think if you can get a bigger plus on the Chiefs, that would be great as well.
Also, actually, to be honest, I don't know. Like, I haven't actually looked at the log, but they actually might be needing a bonus point win, just considering how many bonus points the Crusaders have gotten. I stand to be corrected here, but so that is something to actually consider. Like, will the Blues be chasing a 3-try gap? But also, Oracle, just to answer your question about the weather, I know obviously not a big points man, but the weather looks pretty good for Auckland, and it's also a day game or a late afternoon game.
It's going to rain for half the game.
Excuse me?
So it's only going to rain for half the game if the weather's good.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, although Pickerel's ref, I think it wouldn't shock me, considering it's happened 6 weeks in a row. It wouldn't shock me if we have a 30-point first half, and then, as Henrik said, it wouldn't shock me if we have a 15-point second half, and unders comes home. So maybe an unders at halftime if there's a fast start.
Yeah,
I've got to ask you guys. Sorry, Andrew, go for it.
I just looked at the log. They don't necessarily. They're 5 points behind Crusaders, so I guess they're probably just looking to beat the Crusaders in the next fixture. So they're going to want to win this game and move on. But let's see what happens.
But
yeah, what's that behind you
Crusaders have
guys?
a
There's
game
a
in
board
hand.
there. Yeah, the Crusaders do have a game in hand. That's true. Guys, no, I was just wondering what is behind you on the board there. Is it business school stuff or is it rugby stuff? I can't quite see.
Well, it kind of chops and changes. Sometimes it's rugby stuff. So we've got our stats on the board with our best players for the weekend. Sometimes it's drinking game stuff. When the guys come over for pre-drinks, and then other times, very very infrequently, it's masters academic stuff.
It's what your parents actually sent you over there to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. Henrik, you were saying Crusaders have got a game in hand, eh?
I just popped onto the log, and they've got a game in hand. They've 5 points ahead of the Blues, and they've got a game in hand as well. So it's probably going to be tough for the Blues to catch them. But anything can happen. There's a few games left. Yeah,
it certainly could. I reckon New Zealand games as well, when teams have maybe not got that much to play for, things will open up. I expect we could get, we could find a few points coming in a few of those games. Guys, I want to get on to the best bets in just a second. Anything else, though, on the Blues game before we move on? Nothing else on that one? We'll all be getting up. Oh, sorry, Oracle.
I haven't managed to get up for a Sunday game yet. In fact, I was telling you on Sunday that I got up at 4:45 or whatever it was. I don't know what I saw on the TV, but it looked like it was 9 o'clock. So I went back to sleep and woke up to see that I'd won. I haven't actually watched a Sunday morning game yet. I watched, I think, about 10 minutes one morning. It's just a horrible time, mate. It really is.
It is a terrible time. Henrik enjoys it. He's only going to bed at that time. But Oracle, the one thing I do know on a Sunday, the last couple of Sundays, I've also only got up late. And if I see a missed call on my phone from Oracle Rugby, I don't even have to watch the game. I know I've done my money, But anyway, we got nothing on. I must say, we haven't got a 500 Rand bet this week, and that's okay because we're not disagreeing heavily on anything, so we can let it ride. But we'll get into the best bets now, guys. But before we get into our bets, I've got a little message here from our man, Couch Critic. Gavin, we'll see if you can hear it. I know last week you battled with the sound.
Hi, guys. Focusing on Saturday's game there, I think there's no reason to skip out on Will Jordan. So Will Jordan, first try scorer there in that game. That's at 9-1. And then Mitch Drummond, a nice little price there to come off the bench and score the last try. That's at 24-1. And then, moving on to the fourth game. I think they're pretty much the same as my bike there. They used to have a function, but they don't anymore. So I expect the Brumbies to cruise home. Follow Fainga to score the first try and Brumbies to win with my boys at Bed Olymp.
I must admit, I did enjoy that video because when I first watched it and he was showing the bike in the background, I actually thought he just wasn't really concentrating. And I love the branded Bet Olymp kit as well there. So that's Couch's bets. But Oracle, we'll start with you. Your best bet of the weekend, please.
You're going to have to tell me what he said because the screen goes black. I never saw him. I didn't hear anything. Didn't see him. Didn't hear anything. It's
strange. I wonder. You guys saw it, Henrik?
Yes, loud and clear.
Everyone else must be. What are you on your phone, Gav? Or are you through Chrome, or what are you?
Screen split, and I saw the black, but I didn't see him. Didn't come on.
Okay, yeah, no, you'll have to watch the recording then and catch that. It was a very amusing one from our couch critic there. But Gav, your best bet?
It'll have to be the Waratahs, Brent. I'm not going to be able to watch your show tomorrow night because I'm actually doing a quiz live at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. I've got something in the racing if you're interested.
Go for it.
It's a bit of a mathematical one, actually. So I like Bunker Hunt, which is drawn 14, but I also like Golden. Can't remember the rest of it. It's drawn 1.
Number 1.
Not Justin Snaith. Sorry, the
Eric Sands.
Sorry,
I think it's Eric Sands, the trainer.
Yes, that's right. There's no jockey on that one yet, from what I could make out. Number 4 is Makaya Gold, I think it is. And
Miami Gold, I think, yeah.
Miami Gold, correct. So it's 1 and 4 and 14 for me. So I'm on those 3 horses. That's all I got.
Excellent.
Waratahs, reasonably, if there's a best bet this weekend, it'll have to be the Waratahs. But I got to tell you, I'm not investing huge this weekend. It looks very, very hard.
Gavin, I must just tell you quickly on the Durban July. I did the preview the other day, and I used to follow my horses. I don't follow them much anymore. So I was using the screen and I had the horses up there and I was reading. But one thing I noticed that a lot of the big name jockeys weren't there, and then it turns out it's due to COVID because of the travel restrictions and that. But I finally got to a jockey. I finally got to a jockey that I considered that I knew, a really big name, A. Marcus. And so we're talking about horse number 6, Twist of Fate. I said, and Anton Marcus gets the ride. Adam Marcus is the trainer, so I got that wrong as well. But fortunately, I was with 2 pretty knowledgeable guys who could put me right.
Dude again is running again this year, and I remember White Line Fever was the only horse that I can remember that took on the July 3 years in a row. Never won anything, but yeah, I'll be very surprised if Dude again wins again. I'd said that last year and I got it wrong, but I love the July. I always get up for it. We'll have a couple of punts on Saturday. Don't have as much money as I did last year. But yeah, it's a great day. It'll be a pity that there's no crowds or that much fun out of it. But yeah, I'll be happy at home watching. I don't mind. I will be watching the rugby. I haven't been watching any of the soccer or anything like that. Grand Prix I missed as well. The only thing I've been watching actually is this rugby. I'm really looking forward to the South African rugby coming back. That's going to be quite exciting.
Yeah, that is the Curry Cup coming back in. That's going to be good. But let's go on. I'm sure. Nice to talk a bit of July with Oracle, but I'm sure the other guys are not going to throw in any horse racing bets. Henrik, your best bet for the weekend?
Brent, I like the force of all the other games. I'm not that strong on, but I like the force and the plus, and I think you can even take the force in the first half handicap, and I expect them to come out strong. And but I like the full time handicap as well. But my bigger place will be on the points. On all the games, I will be getting involved in the points.
Excellent. And let's go up to Son of a Punt. Boys from Barcelona, what are the best bets?
So we're actually tossing up between the under 25.5 first half points between Rebels and Waratahs, or we're looking at the Cairns plus 11.5 or the over 49.5 points. And whenever we're in these dilemmas, we like to call upon Eugene to give us the answer. And he's going for under 25.5 points in the first half of Rebels Waratahs.
Excellent. Under's the best bet there. I must say, I'm with the Oracle. I like the Waratahs to win the game. There's still some 17 to 20 available on them to win. And then no doubt about it, I mean, I think you guys suggested it. If it comes to Sunday morning and I'm going to have a big day's horse racing punting behind me as well, if I'm chasing, I'm going to be waking up at 5:25 and getting all over my beloved Blues and seeing if they can do the business on the handicap. But that brings us to the end of the show. Thanks very much to all the guys who did join us in the live chat. Always great having your contributions. And son of a punt, guys, enjoy the weekend. If you get out, I imagine you won't be watching the July, but yeah, I'm sure you're enjoying it back there in Barcelona. Have a good one.
Thanks, Brent. Thanks, guys. Great show.
Excellent. And Henrik, thanks a lot, man. Enjoy the rugger. We'll see you in the forum. We'll see you on Twitter. Have a cracking weekend, and hope your best bet comes home.
Thanks, Brent. Yeah, enjoy it, guys, and enjoy the July.
Excellent. And Oracle, no 500 Rand bet for us this time. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Tomorrow I've got a bit of banking to do in the morning. I've got you loaded now as a beneficiary. It's not a debit order yet, but it's heading in that direction. I'm going to pay your $500, and I want you to spend that on the July. Will you do that for me?
I will do. And I just want to say, Shane, I was happy to give Han another punt, and he sent me a message, and he said he's not even going to attempt it this week. So that's quite interesting. I scared him away after 2 weeks.
But let me ask you this. He says he's not going to attempt to win his money back, but has he paid you?
Don't think so, but that's okay. I'm also quite...
That's cash.
No, it doesn't matter.
No, I'm only kidding. I wondered why he didn't want to come on the show and only sent a video tonight. He didn't want to confront you there. But anyway, guys, thanks very much.
I'm a bit slow, but I always pay.
What's that, sorry?
I say I'm a bit slow, but I always pay.
No, that's it. It was one thing you always pay is you've got to pay your debts. Thanks very much to all the guys on the live chat. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to our newsletter down below. And horse racing fans, see you on Friday night. Not sure of the exact time yet, but it's going to be a great show with some very knowledgeable punters. Thanks, everyone.